Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to share my thoughts just on my back deck here. Beautiful day. And I wanted to talk about what tends to happen in the second part of the healing journey. So I very much talk in averages, very much, and there's of course outliers, but a lot of people will find significant healing around the 2-year mark. And what tends to happen in this second phase is that they're left in this aftermath. This is how I describe it. And this is my own experience. And I have this visual in my mind of like people standing in the aftermath of like an earthquake. And there's all this like debris and sort of smoke in the air, and they're just standing amongst this rubble, and they're looking around and they're like, what just happened? Because that's what a lot of people are experiencing after they start to feel significantly better. And then comes the rebuild, what I call the rebuild. And I've had several conversations with people about this lately, and this is a common theme that's coming up for people that are around this time period, or around this part of their journey anyway, where they're back to functioning and they really just have a few lingering symptoms, but the vast majority of it has resolved. And so now they're like, now what? And so they still feel like they're on shaky ground because they're trying to come to terms with what happened over the last 2 years. They have a lot of mixed emotions, and they're also wondering about the rebuild and how to navigate that process, which can be a bit of a layered process for people. And they also are like trying to navigate, it's almost like coming back from jail or battle, and now they're trying to reintegrate as a civilian, and they're not really sure what to do and where they fit in. And so this looks different for different people, and it's also a part of the process, and they're scared still of, quote, making mistakes or re-flaring things up, but they also want to just fully live their lives again. And so this is what I also call the resilience phase. So the symptom recovery is pretty much the first 2 years, and then it's like building that resiliency, which happens along the way, but it really tends to happen after this stage. And that window of tolerance gets larger and larger, where they can handle more and more stimuli without setting the nervous system off into symptoms. But also there's the rebuild. So people who had been in the medical profession are often kind of reconsidering if that's what they want to do. They're wondering where they fit in with their friends. Like, a lot of people become very isolated in this experience, and even with their family, friends, any type of people, even colleagues, if they're starting to go back to work. How do you explain what you've been through? How do you relate to people in the same way? Again, how do you talk about it and decide who your people are? Because maybe you've lost people in this process. Do you try to then heal those wounds, or do you just move on from those people and find a new group? And how do you navigate if your new group, the majority of them are on psychiatric drugs? How do you tell people what you've been through without getting into that back and forth between, oh, these drugs saved my life, and oh, these drugs ruined my life, and let me tell you what can happen? And that can just be a kind of a downward spiral. And so I just want to say this is a very normal part of the journey, and one that takes navigating. But again, and people are very concerned also about the trauma at this point. But what I tell people is the symptoms are most of the trauma. So once they resolve, people feel largely free from that. However, there's still a lot of fear about navigating normal relationships, normal life experiences, without worrying about setting off your nervous system. So this is like a rebuild. So it's incremental for most people. It's step by step by step, which gives people momentum, and it builds that window of tolerance. And that's why I actually really enjoy talking about that part of the process, because although people are very excited to feel so much better, they're just like, now what do I do? And that can take a particular type of navigation. And again, we have this very niche community that only people who have really experienced this understand. And so that is a very big part of the process. How do you slowly get back into the workforce? How do you find work that's meaningful and not too stressful? And again, how do you navigate social relationships, social experiences? And I just want to, provide some validation and navigation, if you're sort of wondering about this, or you're getting close or are in this part of the journey. And what I've found is people really have they've developed a lot of coping skills in this process. They've also, their life perspective has vastly changed, and not in a bad way. Like, they've become a lot healthier, a lot of people, because they're paying so much attention to their diet, what they expose themselves to, their toxin levels, like chemical exposures. And so they come out of this a healthier version of themselves, much more self-aware, and also unwilling to let what used to stress them out now. And they tend to be more grateful for experiences that they have now day to day that they were unable to do for a very long time. And so that also can change your social relationships, because what you found maybe as commonality with people before is not so much now. Things that you used to deem important are not important now, and vice versa. Things that you didn't think were important then now are. And so you come out of this new version of yourself, and that can take some navigation. And also, like, a lot of people are kind of tightening up their boundaries. They're becoming advocates, like self-advocates. They are becoming more assertive, because a lot of times, I mean, when you're navigating this experience in the medical system, you're just getting gaslit from every corner. And so you're like, no. And you are finding people who will listen. You are stating your story stronger and stronger and stronger every time. And this can also really build momentum in a good way. So for me, I was always very people-pleasing, timid, passive, too nice. And this experience has really helped me to be not rude and mean and aggressive, but just stronger in my own convictions, willing to protect my peace at all costs. And that might mean cutting off toxic relationships. It might mean standing up for someone, or standing up for yourself, putting down boundaries when it's uncomfortable. Just all of these things are a part of the healing journey. And just choosing what to do moving forward. Like, some people will say, will I ever be able to drink alcohol again? And navigating that. And other people will say, it's never ever worth it for me. I don't care if I ever drink again. And these are questions that come up when you're standing in this aftermath. So I'm curious if you're further along in the journey, and maybe most of your symptoms have resolved, or you feel well, or decently well 80% of the time. Are you finding yourself in this place? And again, we have a very niche community. Also, what can happen is, if you had prior or pre-existing conditions, mental health specifically, how do you then navigate those that might be still underlying without going the pharmaceutical route? And so that's another thing that people are navigating. How do I find the right type of natural treatment, therapy? Yeah, all of these questions come up. So let me know if you're in that stage and what that looks like for you. How have you been going through that part of the journey? And does this provide validation, comfort in this? And that's why I like to talk about the layers, because it's so much greater than biochemical, in my opinion. And so, yeah, that's just what I wanted to talk about quickly in this video. Let me know your thoughts on this, and I'll see you next time. Bye.